Hey guys. Oh my god, I have my vlog camera. We are at the official Biden spotting of DFW for the entire year. We are your Biden representatives out in the fields. Back to you, Whitney. Thank you. We are currently watching the approach of Air Force One at the Founders Plaza at DFW. Okay, that was it. Now we're running back to the car to beat all the traffic. I did just straight smash some chai latte because I made some chai concentrate. Finally, I've been wanting to do that. Ooh, it's also room temperature now. Because fun fact, I've been keeping my AC at like 78 and then opening my windows to try and keep it cool in here without taking up so much energy. I can't stop thinking about, if you've read the book of essays by John Green, like the Anthropocene reviewed. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce Anthropocene. It makes me feel like I'm saying the word pussy. Anyway, if you've read it, he has an essay talking about climate change. Specifically, he covers the irony that electricity is a big driver of climate change. So it's this cycle that we're using a lot of energy, so the world's getting warmer, but because the world's getting warmer, we're all turning up our ACs, which then is causing more climate crisis. The point being, like, we need to get comfortable with being warmer, because at this point, hi, it's here. I'm a Texas girl through and through. I'm also fat, so I run hot anyway. And I've been challenging myself to not run my AC like at full blast. So it's currently 78 degrees in my apartment. And my new best friend has been a bedside fan. In my head, that is more effective than turning on the AC. That could be wrong. Hi, Rody! Oh. She's like, turn on the AC! Hi. You're so handsome with your little white spot on your chest. Okay, time to pack an overnight bag for my parents' house. I need 6 extra pair of undies in case I shit myself 6 times. Done. I got my favorite PJs. Gordo has decided that he's coming with me. We're going to brunch tomorrow for Easter, so I need like a cute dress. I'll do this jean one with a strapless bra. Extra cozy outfit. See, now, this is why I hate being fat. I have like 4 articles of clothing in that bag, and that's pretty much already full. Packing my Kindle, obviously, so I can finish my book. Gotta bring my water bottle. By the way, I put stickers on my Hydro Flask of all the places that I go, so I need to find one for Madrid. I can probably go there. Also, this water bottle is so janky. There's like rust in the bottom of it that doesn't come off, and the bottom is so bumpy that anytime I put it down it wobbles, but I refuse to buy an Owala or a Stanley, so I'm rolling with my main homegirl. My mom and I have a journal that we pass back and forth. I've been meaning to bring this to her, so I'm packing that. And then let's go grab some toiletries. Hi, guess what? I have clothes to put away, which means we're gonna chat for a bit. Also, since I've been keeping my AC off, it was reminding me of a memory. Whenever I was in high school filming my first videos, I remember the house that I grew up in always ran hot. Like, I always had a fan on in my bedroom, and I didn't have a ceiling fan, so I always had like a handheld fan like I have now blowing on me. And when I would film videos, I would be like hair done, makeup done, like talking myself into a sweat because I was so excited about books, that I would have a fan on the ground with me that I would like turn on in between takes and like hold up to my face because I would get so hot and sweaty. Rosie? That's not polite. Anyway, excuse my cat cleaning her puss. I hadn't thought about that in years until just now when I'm like, I got a little bit of undercarriage sweat going on, but it's just like the good old days. I'm calling back to my roots. Anyway, we all know that when I have clothes to fold, that means I'm gonna sit down and talk. I do have 2 things I want to talk about right now. The first of which is important because I can pretend that this is a reading vlog by saying I finished a book. It is not the book I've been reading for a month, it's a different one. Actually, on Tuesday I got the Amazon email of like, a new book by an author you like has just come out, and I remembered Catherine Moon had another book come out in March. I literally cleared my schedule and told my group chat, I was like, do not call me tonight, I'm not gonna FaceTime, I'm just gonna lie in bed and read this book. And it was The Alpha of Bleak Isle by Catherine Moon. If y'all are new to these vlogs, I love Catherine Moon. Primarily nowadays she does monster romances, but I would call her like a fantasy romance author. Have we fully picked up the use of the word romantasy? Because I'm like halfway there. Which it was pretty freeing to clear my calendar to read it, because a lot of times I put off reading because I'm like, I can't do this until I do this task or this task. So it's like I have to earn reading once I finish the things I need to do. But then I end up not doing the things I need to do. Thus, reading is never accomplished. But I literally got home, like, put my dishes away, made dinner, and then I was like, I'm going to bed. And then I read like the first 25% of it, and guess what? Can you guess? I fell asleep. And then surprisingly, usually I can read Catherine Moon books in like one sitting. This book took me 3 days to finish, and it was because I really didn't like the world. So the whole setup of it is that obviously the title character is an alpha, so it's an Omegaverse book, and it's also dragon shifters. The whole composition of the universe is that every 10 years the alpha goes into rut, and so he like needs one of the Omegas to breed. He'll go into town and choose one, but the reason why that happens continually is because when they mate while they're in like that rut period, they can only produce another male alpha. So 90% of the time it kills the Omega giving birth. So it's turned into this society where like female Omegas are just constantly in turnover and like sacrificing themselves to get an heir, but most of the time they die. And the main character is like this wallflower character who knows she's not gonna get chosen, but plot twist. I just didn't like the world because it felt like The Handmaid's Tale. It wasn't a romance. It's like you were forced to be with him. You were forced to carry his child. Like, there's a lot more discussion in it than that. Like, she kind of wasn't really. And the whole purpose of it is like, he wants things to change and she wants things to change. But still, even if those parts weren't explicitly terrible because they did try and fix that system, it still created a system of hierarchy where all of the women were competing with each other. There were no female side characters in this. And also, Catherine, I'm not here for a plot. And this book tried to do so much with the world, and it is the first book in a new series, but I did not care about the other alphas and the drama of the world, and like you figure out why things are the way that they are, and oh no, we need to change this and make things more equitable for females. I didn't care. I just didn't like it. The one saving grace of it was that it did have really great characters. I liked the personality of the main character. I liked the guy. I liked their scenes together and like the romance parts of it and the lead up to that. But again, it was so plot heavy that I was bored. And I'm not gonna say like the scenes were fade to black because there were a lot of really explicit scenes, but it just didn't like hit. So again, it took me like 3 whole days to read that. I was so bored through some parts of it. I ended up giving it like 2.5 stars. I don't think I'm gonna continue the series. I don't recommend that one, and I'm shocked that a lot of people have rated it 5 stars because I was like, ooh, what was that? So yeah, if you're gonna start with Catherine Moon, definitely start with Games with an Arc because that's her best book ever. The second thing I want to discuss is I was told by a booktube confidant, who will know who they are, but I won't call them out, and they were like, just so you know, Guru Gossip has been talking so positively about you. If you don't know what Guru Gossip is, I'm not going to stop and explain, but they've been a player since like 2018. I stopped reading Guru Gossip a couple years ago, but I respect it so much for what it does do and allow constructive criticism of creators. So I was just curious what they had said based on what this person told me, and I went and checked it out, and it is so flattering to be liked by people who typically are the ones giving out constructive criticism of why certain creators aren't that great. So I'm like, oh my god. But like, even when I was scrolling to look for where I was mentioned, someone else had mentioned like, I wish that people would put thumbnails of books for longer in their videos because I might be doing something, and then when I go to look at my phone when I'm finally done with that task, like the book thumbnail has gone away, and I'm like, that's genuinely a good call out. So I don't know, I see it as a good forum for ways to improve, obviously when it is constructive and can be improved, but I had no idea Guru Gossip was even active. Okay, with that being said, I have everything folded. I need to put it away. And then I told my family I would be at their house 2 hours ago, so thanks for folding my clothes with me. Hey girls, just made it to my parents' house. They might come outside and be like, why is she sitting there? But on my drive over, I of course blasted music like I always do. I need to share some recommendations with you. First of all, selfishly because I need you to listen to it and think how great of music taste I have and that it's your new favorite song ever. But secondly, because I need recommendations for similar songs because I'm getting so bad at listening to new music that it's all I need right now. And yes, I'm gonna keep glancing up to the front door to see if my parents have noticed me. Anyway, the first one kind of the first two go together. I've always loved Labor by Paris Paloma. Paris Paloma was one of my top artists of last year, and she is so amazing. Labor, the Cacophony just came out, which is Labor, but then she added in like 600 or 900 or something women singing over it, and it's so good. And it fits in like a feminist rage category that I'm also putting in this next one, which is History of Man by Maisie Peters. Bonnie, my best friend, clocked me, and as soon as that song came out, she pestered me like every week. She was like, you have to listen to History of Man. You have to listen to History of Man. And both of those are like, men suck and you can't change them, so you just gotta escape. I don't know, both of those just make me feel like rage. So if you have any recommendations like that, happy to hear it. The next song I've been loving, there's a new song out by Gigi Perez, who's one of my favorite singers, and she is so underrated. She has a new song called Normalcy, and her voice is gorgeous, and I love everything she's ever done, so go listen to Normalcy. I also love this song. I don't think it's new, but it's called Pollution by Jonah Kagan. It's so beautiful, and it's like the theme of when you grow up and lose your innocence. I think that song specifically might be about drug use, but you know, just in general for me, it's like, I hate getting older. That song puts me in a mood, but I love it. This is a total vibe change, but Mona Lisa by, I don't know how to say her name, it's MXM Tune, Mom Tune, I don't know. This song Mona Lisa is like, I'm tired of being a side character. I'm tired of everyone else having their moment. Like, I want to be a main character. I want to be the Mona Lisa. And it's such a good, like, it's a upbeat, happy song. It gets stuck in my head all the time. Sorry, I cut myself off. I need to go brush my horse, so you might get to see him again. Hey, yo, boots! For him?
Yeah.
Does he do tricks?
Nah, sit.
Sit. Can you catch?
No. No, he's a Libby on catching.
He went over his head. Ollie! Your fur is blowing in the breeze. Okay, we got brushed. Now we're walking to go get our dinner. I think he knows what time it is. Hold on. I'll get it. Atta boy. Hey, good boy. Oliver, what you want, cookie? Your cookie? Oh, whoops. Here, have cookie. Want cookie? Yummy. Hi, Mittens. Hi, friend. Hi, buddy. Oh my goodness. Well, we have a baby. Mama, did you have a baby? Hi. Oh, thank you. Yep. Hi. Are you so shy? Hi, baby. Hi. What are you doing? This is how you can tell I've been at the barn scratching horses. Good evening, vlog. I'm here with Mr. Reginald himself. For new vlog watchers, that is Rosie Gordo and Sharpie's brother. And I'm trying to get a little bit through my book because I know I need to finish this or at least get close, and I'm like 55% of the way through and I'm on page 500. So I'm really liking the book. It has a lot of twists and turns. I also just read like a sexy scene, so that helps, but I have to get up at like 8:30, so I'm gonna try and read for like another hour, then I definitely have to go to bed. Okay, here's the situation. It's only like noon, and I very easily could finish the rest of my book today, which is what I'm trying to do, because I think my Kindle says I have like 8 hours left or something. That's very doable, especially because the book is actually interesting, which is not a luxury I had in book 1. However, I also have like 5 things on my to-do list, so that I'm like, to have full peace of mind, should I just clean my apartment for an hour and then read? Because that won't make that big of a difference, right? I did immediately change back into my favorite PJs when I got home, but I think I'm gonna put in the effort and just do a little bit more cleaning, even though I don't want to and I'm already sweating and I haven't even done anything. Thank you for getting your cat hair all over the freshly folded towels. Yeah, civic duty fulfilled. Oh! Oh! It's only 2 o'clock. What are we meowing about? Hi, ignore how sweaty I am. It is genuinely so humid in my apartment right now. It's like Atlanta, Georgia. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think we can cross off every single thing on this list. Like, watch this. Did that. 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 I just need you to know it has been so long since I've ever made a to-do list or just had like things top of mind around my apartment that I need to get done and then done it. And I wasn't just revenge procrastinating and it got done. I was so excited. And it's almost 3 o'clock and I still have like 7 hours to read. I still have some errands and I have a friend coming over next weekend, so I'm gonna have to re-clean a lot of this and then like do some deeper stuff. Like I didn't clean my fridge. I didn't clean up the blanket that's been on my ground for 2 weeks, but the cat's like laying there. Just an overview. Wow, so clean. Ignore the blanket. Gordo, are you making biscuits? The Easter Bunny found out via my mother that I'm going to Disney in a couple of weeks. I don't think I talked about this at all, but Shelby wanted to go to Disney World. So I said, sure, I'll join. Haven't been since I was 10, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, the Easter Bunny found out that that trip is happening. This is very geared toward that theme. First thing being hydrating face masks with aloe for sunburn. Also, makeup removing wipes. Y'all ever been called stinky by the Easter Bunny? Because I got 2 different kinds of deodorant. In the vein of travel, I got some like travel toothpicks, whatever, that you can use when you're on like long haul flights and don't want to pack a whole toothpaste. Also 2 travel sizes of sunblock, as well as some hospital strength cooling spray for sunburns and some Aquaphor with SPF. Clearly we're going to be in the sun in Florida. Now into the fun gifts. I got 2 scrunchies with Mickey ears, and then the best part of the haul, the food section. I got dill pickle cashews, some Smart Sweets, a Reese's, and then Cadbury eggs, which are the greatest invention of all time. So I'm gonna bring these on the couch with me and make my way through them as I read my ebook, but first I need to find a place for all of this. Oh my gosh, this is the setup. I have a flavored water, a regular iced water, some Easter cookies, some Easter eggs, my ebook. I'm about to pull up YouTube and put on like a reading ambiance. I've never had like a dedicated reading day like this for a while. It's so nice. Also, YouTube, you will be hearing from my lawyer because why do TV commercials now have like 6 ads? Google's a rotten company and I do not stand for this. Anyway, time to read. Is that really what Crescent City looks like? You're joking. Thank you. We're gonna need some more fantasy. Thank you. Perfect. Hi. I got like 85% of the way through my book, but then I got distracted on TikTok for the last 3 or 4 hours. And I'm half asleep, so I just want to go to bed so bad. Also, book review. Even though I'm really liking it and all of the perspectives are interesting, hi Gordo. It's one of those books where you read a bunch of pages and then you look and you've only read like 2. It's going by so slow. It's just so much. They're both like 900-page books and I still have another 900 pages to go. I'm probably exaggerating. It's probably like 700 or 800. Okay, listen. I'm like pacing around. The camera's lopsided. That's how my day's going. I know I bent over and took a steamer on this book. By the way, hi, it's a reading vlog clip. I just finished my book. First of all, Sarah Janet, what the fuck? What the fuck? There's not an adequate way for me to express the emotional roller coaster that was the last chapter of that book. I'm not the kind of person to go into a book knowing how it ends. This is probably the only book in history where I found out how it ended, walked into a bookstore, picked up the book, flipped to the last page, and read. So I knew how this book ended, but had 0 context. In the entire book, I was like, surely there's gonna be some connection where I see this coming. But up until the last chapter, I was like, I may or may not have spent the entire last chapter on FaceTime genuinely kicking my feet in bed and giggling. I can't even talk about it because it's such a big spoiler, but oh my god. I'm like, did the book get 5 stars? Unfortunately, I immediately had to go run and download book 3, so I'm already like 15 over the way percent into the next book. It took me so long to read book 2. I think it genuinely took me an entire month. Okay, removing myself from the ending that tore me to bits, I don't think I can give this book more than like 3.5 stars, just because objectively there's so much going on in a world that still kind of doesn't make sense. There was also a really big plot reveal that one of the like secret agents, I totally guessed who it was, like their secret identity. It's one of like the major characters. And it was so obvious. Like there was one scene that made it so obvious. Actually, there's a couple of things, but I'm typically like not a plot guesser. So the fact that I was able to guess it, I was like, Sarah, get a better editor. You got the gullible girls able to figure you out. What else? Oh my god. It's just like the world is so complicated but so underexplained. Like the fact that at the end of this book I realized that the Astari are literally named after the stars. Like they just underexplain that so bad. I say they, it's a woman, her name's Sarah. Sarah did not explain that well enough at all, so I kind of don't care about the main villains of the series at this point. Bryce is still so annoying. She talks like she's fucking 12. Like if you loved Fourth Wing, you would love Bryce because it has the same like corny, unable to be serious kind of tone while the whole world is falling apart, which was so annoying to me. But I love all the side characters. I love Rune, I love Ethan, I love Therian. Wish we had more female side characters. I don't know. It was good, but it was bad. It was the best of times, the worst of times. Charles Dickens said it best. Anyway, I've kept you too long on this vlog just for a book that was okay, so I'll let you go. Thank you for watching. If you've read the ending of that book, whether you were spoiled or not, let's bond. It was so crazy. Any parting words from the children? No? Okay. Bye! A red rose grew up out of ice-frozen ground with no one around to tweet it. Well, I bathe in cliffside pools with my calamitous love and insurmountable grief. Take me to the lakes where all the poets went to die. I don't belong, and my beloved, neither do you. Those Windermere peaks look like a perfect place to cry. I'm sad enough, but not without my muse. No, not without you.